Must watch. Women never forget a man who does these 7 things. Modern Stoic. Have you ever wondered why some men leave an indelible mark on a woman's heart, even long after the relationship has ended today? We're going to uncover why certain men stand out in ways that stay with women forever. And no, this isn't about extravagant gifts or grand declarations of love. It's about the kind of man whose very presence sticks with her, not because he relentlessly pursued her, but because he showed up in a way most men never do. Welcome back. If you're here to explore the real dynamics between men, women, and relationships, then you're in the right place. What we're talking about today isn't for those seeking the usual nice guy advice. If you want to understand how to become the type of man that a woman won't be able to forget, this is for you. Here's the truth. Most men believe that keeping a woman happy means offering constant validation, showering her with attention, and abandoning their own standards. But here's the harsh reality: women easily forget these men. They move on without a second thought. Why? Because women don't want men who only worship them. They want men who challenge them, who make a genuine impact in their lives, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. The men who leave an unforgettable impression do things differently. They break away from the conventional wisdom most men follow. In this video, I'll reveal the 7 key actions that make a man impossible to forget. No matter how much time has passed, these aren't things you're often taught, but they're the ones that matter most. Let's dive into it. One, he never chases her. One of the most critical lessons a modern Stoic understands is this never chase. Society has been selling the idea for years that the more a man chases after a woman, the more she'll want him. But let me tell you straight, this is a lie, a deep-seated myth that has done nothing but sabotage the interactions between men and women. The truth is, chasing doesn't create attraction, it destroys it. The more a man chases, the more he projects desperation, predictability, and a lack of self-respect. And let's face it, no one, man or woman, is attracted to desperation. It's just not appealing. When a man continuously pursues a woman without giving her any space, he doesn't come off as charming. He comes off as desperate. He's putting himself in a position where he looks like he's constantly trying to win her approval. And in her eyes, that's a sign of weakness. It's a power shift, and it's one that works against him. Here's what most men don't realize. Women are not drawn to men who put them on a pedestal. They don't want to be viewed as the object of a man's obsessive focus. What actually draws a woman to a man is his ability to value himself first, his ability to maintain his own sense of worth and direction in life. The modern Stoic understands this. He doesn't seek validation from others because he's grounded in his own sense of self. He's not chasing after approval or attention. In fact, the moment a man starts chasing, he signals that she is the prize and that he's the one hoping to be chosen. And that is a dangerous dynamic. The woman, in that scenario, holds all the power. She has the control, and the man becomes just another option vying for her attention, one of many. And when a man is perceived as just another option, he's easily forgotten, no matter how hard he tries to stand out. A man who never chases is not cold, indifferent, or disinterested. In fact, it's quite the opposite. He simply embodies the blessing of Stoicism. He allows attraction to flow naturally because he understands that his value isn't determined by another person's attention or approval. A true modern Stoic knows his worth, and it's not based on anyone else's validation. He is perfectly fine walking away if the woman doesn't show interest because he's comfortable with who he is. If she's drawn to him, she'll let him know. He's not going to waste his energy chasing after something that may not even be a match in the first place. This calm, confident detachment creates a sense of mystery, which is one of the most powerful emotional triggers a man can wield. When a man doesn't chase, he naturally builds an aura of scarcity, and scarcity is irresistible to women. Women are wired to desire what feels rare and difficult to attain. If they can easily get a man's attention or affection, it loses value. But when they have to work for it, when they sense that a man is self-sufficient and not desperate for their attention, that sparks curiosity, and curiosity breeds attraction. Imagine this scenario: a man meets a woman at a social gathering. They hit it off right away. The chemistry is undeniable. They share a great conversation, and there's an unspoken connection. Now, instead of immediately bombarding her with a flood of texts or repeatedly asking her out on dates, he takes a step back. He gives her space to breathe. He doesn't need to be glued to his phone, eagerly awaiting her response. Instead, he focuses on his own life, his own goals, his own passions, and his own mission. He's busy living his life, and that's something she picks up on. He doesn't chase. He simply exists in his own world, confident that if she's interested, she'll reach out to him. And that's exactly what happens. Over time, she starts initiating contact more. She starts texting him first, reaching out to secure his time, because she senses that his life is full, that he's someone who doesn't depend on her for fulfillment. He's the kind of man who is always moving forward, always pursuing something meaningful, and that is magnetic. She wants in on that energy. That's the power of not chasing. Women don't forget the men who don't make them feel like they're being hunted. They remember the ones who made them work for it, who didn't just give in to every whim or request. The men who are grounded in their own purpose, who have their own lives, and who hold back just enough to make a woman invest emotionally, are the ones who are remembered. The modern Stoic doesn't beg for attention or try to control the situation. He knows that relationships, like everything in life, must come naturally and without force. The more a man chases, the more he signals that he's desperate for something he can't have. And that's not attractive, but a man who stands firm in his worth, who isn't swayed by every woman who crosses his path, becomes a rare commodity. And rarity, my friend, is always in demand. It's crucial to realize that the old Stoic teachings are still highly relevant today. The principles of self-reliance, emotional control, and respect for oneself are timeless. A man who embodies these values, who truly believes in the idea that his worth is intrinsic and doesn't depend on the approval of others, is a man who stands out in the world. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't need validation because he already knows who he is. This type of man isn't just appealing to women, he's a leader in his own life, and women notice that. So, here's the final word: don't chase. Don't waste your time trying to prove yourself to someone who may not see your value. Be the modern Stoic. Be the man who values himself first and lets attraction develop naturally. Understand that your worth isn't tied to anyone's opinion of you, and that's the real power. A woman won't forget the man who makes her work for his attention, the one who doesn't need to chase, but instead lets her chase him. That's the man who leaves a lasting impression. 2. He walks away without fear. In life, as in relationships, there is one undeniable truth: power is not in clinging, it's in walking away. Too many men lose themselves in relationships, gripped by the fear of loss, thinking that holding on tightly will keep her close. They mistakenly believe that they must never let go, that any sign of distance will mean the end. But let me make one thing clear: the true power of a man is his ability to walk away without hesitation or fear. The modern Stoic understands this better than anyone. He knows that walking away doesn't mean being disrespectful, cold, or indifferent. It means knowing his worth. It means understanding that his value is not tied to any one person, and that he deserves peace, respect, and mutual effort in return. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you are emotionally dependent on someone, if you place all your worth on keeping her by your side, you set yourself up for weakness. Women sense this weakness. They feel it immediately. It radiates from you. When a man clings, when he's afraid to walk away, it sends a message of insecurity, desperation, and low self-esteem. This is why the Stoic principles are so vital. You must learn to embody them, be strong enough to walk away without guilt or fear. A man who can do this commands respect, not through manipulation, but through confidence. He knows that if a situation no longer serves him, he will not compromise his values to keep it going. If she starts playing games, creating drama, or pushing boundaries, he does not beg, negotiate, or plead. He steps back, firm in his sense of self, worth. Women remember men who walk away with dignity. They respect them. Why? Because they are not emotionally controlled by anyone. This isn't a game. It's about emotional strength. As soon as you stop fearing loss and embrace your own power to leave, everything changes. The dynamic shifts. You stop tolerating disrespect, and instead of trying to fix problems that aren't yours to solve, you focus on maintaining your standards and values. You stop overcompensating, apologizing for things that weren't your fault, and desperately trying to win her back. That behavior only weakens you and pushes her further away. But when you can walk away with strength, she starts to realize what she might lose. She starts to reassess her actions. She senses your power, and for the first time, she feels a real risk. It's a crucial lesson for any man, especially as you age and grow wiser. The person who is willing to walk away is the one who holds all the power in any relationship. This isn't manipulation. It's simply recognizing your worth. A modern Stoic understands that true strength comes from not needing anyone, but choosing to be with them because it is mutually beneficial. So, let me tell you this. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't fear losing her. Instead, let her fear losing you. When you walk away with confidence, when you choose peace over chaos, you make an impression that lasts forever. You become unforgettable. Women never forget the men who were strong enough to walk away, because those men never begged, never clung, and never lowered themselves to stay. They remained in control. You must be that man. If you find this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember. I am a man of high value who chooses peace and respect over fear. 3. He controls his emotions. A man who masters his emotions is a man who commands respect and admiration. Emotional stability is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Women instinctively seek a man who remains grounded, especially in times of turmoil. Being emotionally unstable, quick to react, or overly expressive of every feeling is a fast way to lose her respect. It signals weakness, not strength, as Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A man who controls his emotions is not cold or indifferent. He is steady. He can feel, but he doesn't allow his emotions to dictate his actions. This is true strength. A Stoic, a man who embodies the principles of Stoicism, knows that emotional control is a vital element of personal power. The world will test you, push your buttons, and try to sway your emotions. But a Stoic remains unshaken. Women are emotional creatures, yes, but they crave balance. They experience the full spectrum of feelings daily, and what they desire in a man is someone who can maintain his composure in the midst of chaos. He is their anchor, the calm in the storm. When a woman is upset, frustrated, or testing a man's patience, the man who can remain calm, composed, and unbothered becomes a beacon of strength. This is incredibly attractive. She sees in him not only stability, but the kind of man who doesn't fold under pressure, who can lead with quiet strength and dignity. So, remember this. You must cultivate emotional control. Don't let your emotions control you. Stay steady. Show up with unwavering strength. Let the world come at you. It won't move you. A Stoic man doesn't just survive, he thrives. It's time to master your emotions, embrace the principles of Stoicism, and become the kind of man every woman remembers. Your ability to remain emotionally solid will set you apart and make you irresistible. 4. He never seeks her approval. Gentlemen, let's face it, one of the greatest pitfalls a man can fall into is seeking a woman's approval. It's the age-old trap that many men unknowingly wander into. You want her to like you, So you begin adjusting yourself, your word, your actions, even your beliefs, all to win her validation. But here's the bitter truth: the more you seek her approval, the less respect you'll earn. Why? Because women are not attracted to men who constantly seek reassurance. Women are drawn to men who stand firm in their own convictions, regardless of her opinion. You must understand this. When you seek approval, you give her control. Without realizing it, you're saying, "I'm not sure I'm good enough unless you tell me I am." And that, my friend, is unattractive. The modern Stoic understands that approval seeking is a waste of energy. A man who doesn't need her validation operates from a place of deep, unshakable self-assurance. He knows who he is, what he stands for, and what he desires in life. He does not bend or break to please her, nor does he change his viewpoint just to avoid conflict. His authenticity is his strength. Women, whether they consciously acknowledge it or not, test men all the time. They'll question your decisions, challenge your opinions, or tease you, all in an effort to see if you'll fold. Most men do. They start explaining themselves, justifying their actions, or adjusting their stance to avoid confrontation. But every time you give in, you lose a little more of her respect. The irony is that by staying true to yourself, by not seeking approval, you become far more attractive. It's this honesty and inner confidence that make you magnetic. The blessing of Stoicism is that you can remain unshaken, unaffected by external validation. The old Stoic would never waste energy trying to change for someone else. Why? Because his strength lies in remaining authentic, even if it ruffles feathers. So, be the man who doesn't need to explain himself. Stay true to your beliefs, and she'll start to respect you for the very thing that made you stand out in the first place: your strength, your confidence, and your authenticity. You must never fall into the trap of needing constant reassurance. Women aren't attracted to insecurity. They admire strength, and strength comes from within. The modern Stoic knows that true attraction is born not from seeking approval, but from self-assurance. It is this inner confidence that will make her never forget the man who doesn't bend, who doesn't seek her approval, and who stays authentic in every situation. So, remember, be the man who is unshakable. Be the man who doesn't need her validation to know his worth. That is the secret to being the kind of man she'll never forget. 5. He makes her earn his attention. There's a secret to attracting a woman, and it isn't about showering her with endless attention. It's about understanding the value of that attention. You must master the art of making her earn your focus. Attention is one of the most precious gifts a man can give, but most men throw it away too easily. It's time to take a page from the Stoic playbook and learn the importance of making her earn your attention. Stoicism isn't just about controlling your emotions. It's about understanding what's truly valuable and treating it as such. Too many men think that if they just keep the compliments rolling, text back immediately, and prioritize her over everything else, they'll win her heart. They believe that constant attention is the ticket to her affection. The problem: when you give too much too soon, it doesn't hold the weight it should. Attention, when handed out without restraint, loses all its value. Here's the catch. Women are not drawn to men who treat their attention as a free-for-all. They are attracted to men who make them work for it. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself wanting something more when it's slightly out of reach? It's human nature. Women crave the chase. They're drawn to men who understand the importance of their time and energy. A man who makes his attention scarce becomes a mystery. A man who ignites curiosity, intrigue, and desire. Now, don't get this twisted. The point isn't to ignore her or act aloof for the sake of playing games. No, that's not the Stoic way. Be selective with your time and energy. It's about making sure that when you give attention, it's intentional, meaningful, and rooted in your life's purpose. You have a life, a mission, and a routine. She doesn't get to drop everything else just because she's interested. This is not about manipulation. It's about maintaining your peace, your self-respect, and your balance. Attention is a privilege, not a given. This is where the Stoic life comes in. A Stoic man knows his value, and he knows that not everyone deserves access to his energy. He doesn't let external distractions, like a woman's attention, disrupt his focus on his personal mission. Imagine this: a man building his career, hitting the gym, nurturing friendships, and working toward his goals. He meets a woman he likes, but does he drop his routine to accommodate her? Absolutely not. He's present when it makes sense for him, but his life doesn't revolve around her. His attention is not freely available 24 out of 7. You must teach her that you're not easily accessible. This creates value for your attention, and it triggers a deeper level of interest in her. She begins to wonder, what does he have that I need to do to earn more of his time? And that's when you have her thinking about you more than anyone else. Here's where Stoicism shines through again. A Stoic understands the value of restraint. He doesn't act out of desperation or fear of losing her. He remains focused on his purpose and lets her earn his attention. Over time, she realizes that she's not the center of his world, and that's precisely what makes her want him even more. When you don't give everything away for free, you trigger the natural desire to chase. This is basic human psychology at play. We value what we have to earn. Men who offer endless, unearned attention too soon are often taken for granted. It's predictable. It's too easy. But the man who holds back, who remains slightly elusive, becomes unforgettable. He's the one she can't stop thinking about. Standing apart is what makes you unforgettable. You're not like every other man who throws his attention at her for validation. You're the man who made her prove her worth. That experience sticks with women. They remember it because it's rare, and it's powerful. In the modern world, men often fall into the trap of thinking that constant attention equals love. But this kind of thinking is not aligned with Stoic lessons. A Stoic man values his time, his life, and his priorities. He doesn't give away his attention lightly. When you make her earn it, you teach her that you're a man of value, and that's something no woman can easily forget. So, here's the bottom line. Make her work for your attention. You don't have to play games, but you do have to value your time and energy. She'll respect you more for it, and she'll remember the man who wasn't always at her beck and call. This isn't just about attraction. It's about living a Stoic life, where your peace, your goals, and your sense of self are never compromised for the sake of someone else's approval. Remember, the man who makes his attention scarce becomes unforgettable. And that's how you win, not just her heart, but also your own self, respect and peace of mind. 6. He maintains mystery. In today's world, too many men fail to realize the immense power of mystery in building and maintaining attraction. The prevailing misconception is that by revealing everything, your thoughts, your past, your insecurities, you'll build a deeper, more meaningful connection with a woman. The truth. The complete opposite is often the case. When you lay everything on the table too soon, you strip away the sense of curiosity and intrigue that fuels attraction. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. The human mind craves mystery. It craves the unknown. A man who opens up too quickly loses that essential spark of curiosity that keeps women coming back for more. When you keep a bit of yourself hidden, it sparks a powerful emotional pull that leaves her wondering, thinking, and wanting more. Mystery is not about being secretive or manipulative. It's about holding back just enough to keep her engaged. You must create space for her mind to wander, to ask questions, to imagine, and to build emotional investment. This tension, this uncertainty, is what keeps attraction alive. A Stoic man understands this principle, like Marcus Aurelius, who believed in focusing on what he could control and maintaining a calm, deliberate approach. A man who practices Stoic principles knows that unpredictability and mystery are vital tools in sustaining interest. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't give away everything. They are instinctively attracted to the challenge of figuring him out. The more unpredictable and layered he is, the more emotionally invested she becomes. It's the Stoic mindset. Control what you can, reveal what you must, but always leave some things unsaid. This deliberate withholding makes her want to know more about you. She wonders, what is he really thinking? What drives him? What's beneath the surface? This mystery fuels her imagination, and as anyone who has studied Stoic principles knows, mastering your emotional responses is a powerful act of control. Don't overexpose yourself. Don't give her the blueprint to your life. The more you overshare, the more you kill the spark. You must give her pieces of you, not the whole picture. Each interaction should leave her with something to think about. The greatest mistake most men make is feeling the pressure to overshare in an effort to appear open, honest, or vulnerable. In reality, this overexposure kills the mystery, and when the mystery dies, so does the attraction. Let your life be a story she has to invest in, a puzzle she can't wait to solve. You are not an open book, but a captivating narrative that unfolds over time. That's how you stay memorable. The men women never forget are the ones who maintained a sense of mystery about them, those who never revealed everything at once and always left her wanting more. These men didn't become predictable or transparent too soon. They knew how to keep a little edge, a little allure, a little intrigue that made them unforgettable. A Stoic man knows how to create this tension. He knows the value of his presence and how withholding just enough of himself keeps the other person emotionally engaged. That mystery, that unpredictability, is what keeps women invested long after the relationship has ended. Remember, this mystery isn't about playing games. It's about understanding human nature and using that knowledge to your advantage. So, embrace the Stoic mindset. Don't give away all your cards. Let the mystery linger and watch as the attraction deepens. The power of mystery is the power of control. You must master it. The man who can do this is the man women will never forget. If you found this valuable, hit that like button. Share it with someone who could use these insights. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful advice. Now, drop a comment below with "Mystery keeps the spark alive." Let's hear your thoughts. 7. He puts his mission first. Many men today have forgotten a fundamental truth: a woman will never forget a man who keeps his mission front and center. Too many men fall into the trap of making their relationship the center of their world. They prioritize her over their ambitions, dreams, and even their very identity. Every move they make is to keep her happy. Every decision is rooted in appeasing her. They sacrifice their purpose, their goals, and ultimately themselves. But here's the stark reality: when a man makes a woman his entire mission, he loses his appeal. Women aren't drawn to men who surrender their life and identity just to cater to her. That dependency becomes pressure. It feels weak, and soon it leads to disinterest and a loss of respect. You don't want her to feel like she's your mother, always taking care of you and your needs. She wants to see a man who has his own path, who is already building his future, whether she's there or not. She craves a man who's driven, who's got a purpose that excites him, one that exists independently of her. This is not about selfishness. It's about being a man, a modern Stoic, a man who places his mission above all else. A Stoic man recognizes that his career, his passions, and his personal growth are what shape him into the man he is meant to be. These are the things that keep him strong, confident, and focused. This kind of man radiates discipline. He's not swayed by every whim. His life is anchored in something greater than any single person. His goals shape him and define his worth. When he stays committed to his mission, he sends a clear message. He is a man of direction, one who is not defined solely by a relationship. Women are drawn to this kind of man. They respect him because he has priorities, and he doesn't drop everything just to be available on demand. The more he is invested in his mission, the more valuable his time becomes in her eyes. She'll respect him more because he respects himself. He's not desperate for her attention. He's confident in his own worth. Let's face it, too many men today have been sold the idea that the key to a woman's heart is endless attention and constant availability. But does this actually work? Have you noticed that this approach often leads to frustration, confusion, and a sense that you've lost yourself in the process? It's time to wake up. Stop seeking approval. Your life should be bigger than any single person, including her. When your mission is your top priority, everything else falls into place. The right woman won't leave just because you're busy building your future. In fact, she will admire your focus and drive. She'll respect you for your discipline and commitment. She'll see you as a man who values his purpose, and she'll value you even more for it. The men women never forget are the ones who stood firm in their mission. They didn't make love their identity. Instead, they invited love into the life they were already creating. That kind of man is rare, and that's precisely why he's unforgettable. The truth is, most men fail not because they weren't good enough, but because they tried too hard to be everything a woman wanted. In the process, they forgot to be what she truly desires, a man who doesn't need her. The moment a woman senses that you need her more than she needs you, you've already lost her respect. It's a harsh reality, but it's the truth. Neediness kills attraction. The men who leave a lasting impression are the ones who stand tall on their own 2 feet. They don't chase, they walk away when necessary. They stay mysterious. They control their impulses, and they remain steadfast in their mission. These are the men who don't need a woman to complete them. They invite her to be part of the life they're already building, and this is why they are never forgotten. So, if you want to be that man, if you want to be the man who leaves a lasting mark, embrace the blessing of Stoicism. Prioritize your mission, your growth, your purpose. Let her come along for the ride, but don't make her your whole world. That's the key to being the kind of man women will never forget. Hey there. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. I know it's not always easy to hear the truth, but if you found yourself in any of these situations, you're not alone. Trust me. Many men have made these mistakes. I've made a few myself. But here's the thing. Awareness is the first step toward change, and that's exactly what we're aiming for here. We all want to grow and become better versions of ourselves, and that starts with understanding where we can improve. Now, I want you to really think about the 7 things we've covered today. Whether it's being consistent, showing respect, or genuinely connecting with others. These are the qualities that leave a lasting impact on the people around you. It's not about being perfect. Heck, nobody's perfect. It's about making the effort and realizing that small and consistent actions can lead to big changes. If you've made mistakes, that's okay. The key is learning from them and doing better moving forward. But here's the most important part I want to hear from you. I want to know about your experiences. Have you found yourself in any of these situations? What struggles have you faced? What situations have been challenging for you? Or maybe you've had some success in this area. Tell me what's worked for you. I personally read every comment, and I make it a point to respond to as many as I can. This isn't just about me talking to you. It's about building a real community where we can all learn, grow, and become better men together. So, don't be shy. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going and help each other out. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with another man who might need to hear this too. There's no better time than now to start making those changes and becoming the man you've always wanted to be. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and keep pushing forward.